The Reserve Bank of Malawi, RBM, has announced that only 3 out of 8 banks participated in a foreign exchange auction last week, making it difficult to determine the official exchange rate of the Malawi Kwacha. The low participation rate means that the results of the auction cannot be used as a reliable indicator of the currency's value. The RBM has stated that it will continue to monitor the situation and take appropriate measures to ensure the stability of the Malawi Kwacha. However, some experts have expressed reservations about the auction, saying what needs to be addressed is the issue of forex unavailability, while the import and export trade environment continue to struggle. On Business Edge this morning, our guest is Hubert Patrick Nanthambwe, Developmental Economist from Lilongwe, Malawi. Thank you so much, Hubert, for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Now, RBM, that's the Reserve Bank of Malawi, said that only 3 out of 8 banks allotted participated in the auction week. Why is it that the other 5 banks snubbed the auction?
Okay. Firstly, what we have to understand is about what the Reserve Bank is trying to bring in, especially this direction to do with the forex auctioning. This is where it's trying simply to determine the exchange rate, for the local currency against the major trading currencies, depending on the market forces of demand and supply. So this is a new development, especially of recent, that the Reserve Bank just brought. And I believe the banks were informed just in a matter of 6 days' time that there will be such an auction. So maybe we could speculate that the banks didn't have enough time to prepare and make rational decisions, especially on whether they should engage in the auction or not. Also, we could see that Malawi has been struggling, especially to do with the forex. We have had serious forex shortages, especially for the past 10 months or so. So it could be that there is, these commercial banks do not have enough, maybe, reserves for now, so as to sell to the central bank, but rather they would focus what the little they have, maybe to pay on the bill payments of their clients. Remember, these are the banks that need something like $250 million to service the bills of their clients each and every month. So with such a short period of time, informing them about the deal, and with the uncertainty that is there about the forex exchange, especially in Malawi, we could suggest that that would be the reason these the ADBs did not engage in this auction. Thank you.
Well, the move comes at a time where the country is equally struggling with foreign exchange shortages. Now, how is this also impacting the import and, of course, the trade, the import and export trade segment, and, of course, foreign manufacturers and investments in the country? How is it affecting all these areas?
Okay, thank you for that. All right. Currently, since only 3 out of the 8 ADBs provided or bidded for the auctions last week, we saw that the Reserve Bank didn't proceed to use their bids as to determine the forex exchange rate currently prevailing in the country. So we are still using the exchange rate that we are using before. It's now the US dollar is pegged at 1,036 Malawi Kwacha, and we are still using that. So at least for now, we can see that this movement of the auctioning has not yet brought any change in what is happening, but rather we can try to look out for some more implications that would be there. Like, for example, we know that we have this formal market system, and then we have the parallel one that has to do with the black market. Usually the black market benefits or tries to capitalize on economic uncertainties that are happening, especially within the formal market. So as regards to the point that only 3 out of the 8 ADBs bidded for the auctioning, and also as the point that the central bank did not try to reveal as what was the nature or what were the amounts of the bids that these guys did bid, we can see that the black market would try to capitalize on such an economic fabrics. Usually they would play the hold and observe tactic to see whether they can try to capitalize in the near future. But for now, we can say that the exchange rate is still the same. only that we can anticipate something that would rather make the economic environment not favorable as we are wishing it to be.
Now, with the factors that you have itemized, is it the same reasons why some other financial experts are actually condemning the auctions, saying that is a wrong thing to do as at this time, is a wrong decision to take by the RBM, or there are some other reasons why, whereby the financial experts are saying that they are not in support of the auction week? Does it have to do with the regulations or the policies, or where's the problem that you feel that needs to be addressed?
All right. Firstly, we can see that most of these experts, whether from the financial side or from the political side, that are trying to condemn this thing, they are mostly basing it on what happened in the previous years of the between the years 1990 and 1995, when Malawi tried to utilize such a strategy before. By that time, we have to understand that in this auctioning, there are two sides of the story. The central bank can be a net seller of the foreign currency, or it can be a net purchaser or buyer of the foreign currency. So right at that time, especially when we are looking at the year 1994, when Malawi tried to use this auctioning system, the Reserve Bank, or the central bank to say, was the net seller of this. Was the net buyer of this it was the net seller of this foreign exchange currency. So recently, most of the blames are basing on that, to say we tried this thing, it failed before. Why are we bringing this thing back again? And looking at the situation now that we are already dwindling with the forex reserves, why are we bringing this issue? But maybe that would explain the reason why right now the central bank has decided to be the net seller now of the foreign currency, rather the net buyer, sorry, so that it tries to increase the forex reserves and maybe tries to cushion some of the problems that arise when you're dealing with shortages of forex, especially due to other economic shocks outside the country. So for now, I would say they are basing it from what happened before, but I would rather point it out that before, the central bank was the net seller of the foreign currency. But right now, it's trying to strategically position itself to be in the position of a net buyer, so that maybe it tries to capitalize on such a thing. So such could be the argument why people are thinking these things cannot work, but such could also be the argument why the central bank is still trying to think this strategy can work currently.
All right, let's leave the central bank and focus on the Malawian government now, because some people are also blaming the Malawian government for the deplorable state of the country's currency. They say that they lack in financial prudency and, of course, poor initiation or implementation of economic principles, and that also resulted in the economic dwindle or poor performance of the Malawian Kwacha. So would you also put the blame at the doorstep of the Malawian government?
Yes. We would not spare pointing out some of the few challenges that are also being fueled by the Malawian government. Remember, as we said, Malawi is already struggling with the forex reserves, and if we can see, we have to base on what is confirmed, especially in the documents. If we can see, like in the year 2022, somewhere around October, we had some scenario, unpleasant scenario, where Ministry of Agriculture tried to make a payment of something like $727,000 to some company that does not exist, in the aim to procure affordable input subsidy. So such a thing, we would say the government is lacking economic or finance prudence in its conduct, but also rather much of the argument would go political. But as of now, we can say at least if there would be strict measures to make sure that such type of misappropriation of the public funds is not being experienced, then we would rather have the forex exchange, the foreign currency diverted to other important sectors of the economy, rather than lose it like that. Yeah, so that's as far as I can comment. But the rest, I think, lies on the political side of the argument.
Okay, let's do a comparison between what obtains in Malawi with other countries within the region as regards our forex auction. How would you describe it?
I think, okay, what is being experienced here is not something new. Of course, as we can consider, we try to consider the countries like Zambia, we try to consider the countries like Zimbabwe. They tried to do the auctioning of the currency, but I think the results were not that favorable. And if we try to look back at the literature, I mean the economic papers, we can see that it was found that in economic countries, like the developing countries, mostly auctioning of the foreign exchange in these countries is challenged due to the fact that much of the effort is diverted towards that, and we leave some effort that was also tried to focus on fiscal policy. So by just focusing much energy on this one, on this monetary policy to do with the forex auctioning and the likes, without considering the others, leads to this type of experience. It has been observed before, and it has been recommended that maybe whenever we are trying to come up with these policies, then we need to look also and consider the interactions between the black market, the fiscal policies, and at least then we can try to align it with these policies. So the situation is not that different, but I think much less has been learned from past experience.
All right, let me present you with this. Let me present you with this postulation. Now, about a year ago, the RBM devalued the Kwacha, but then, of course, the impact was said to have been minimal thereabouts. And of course, forex was also in short supply. So people are saying that maybe the pumping of more forex into the financial system will be able to prop up the value of the Kwacha. Do you think that is attainable or plausible?
Okay. Indeed, last year, Malawi devalued its Kwacha by 25%. But now the problem was soon after the devaluation, you know, when you devalue your local currency, normally what is being happening there is you are trying to make it depreciate. So when it did that, you know, there were still rumors that the local currency would still be devalued. Such type of speculations have also led to these problems that we are facing right now, especially to do with the forex strategies. But rather, also, just to comment, because mostly whenever we are trying to align these currencies, especially with the foreign market, they try to look at how the black market is faring. Remember, this black market or the parallel market is an informal market, but its influence on the business economic activities of the country cannot be undermined or underrated. So usually at that time they were like, no, the currency is falling short of the parallel market exchange rate. So can we please try to devalue it? Because the parallel market tries to reflect a little bit more of the situation than what the formal exchange rate is reflecting. But then we can see that as soon as we do this, the black market or the parallel market is also trying to earn a gain or a profit by trying to adjust the exchange rates so as to, it's like we are fighting towards the bottom. So I would say for now that such devaluation to some extent led to what is happening now, but still more can be done and there could be some possibilities. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Hubert, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, according to RBM statistics, the Kwacha is selling at 1,036.249 Kwacha per $1 United States dollar and 62.4710 Kwacha per one South African rand. Well, maybe not the strongest at this point, but Malawi's Apex Bank decided not to back down on carrying on with its policies. And of course, it hopes to attract more participation by financial institutions and improve the value of its currency. We'll see how they will be able to bring the banks on board and have a robust discussion on what needs to be done to improve the value of the country's legal tender. But then that's our discussions for today on Business Edge. Do not forget that you can visit our social media platforms at News Central TV, download our mobile app on App Store and Play Store, and visit our website www.newscentral.africa. We have so many information and details and of course news for you on those platforms that you can get intimated with. My name is Lekondo Banjo. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget that the news will come your way at the top of the hour. Do stay with us.